So this is the Casio AE-1200WH. But almost nobody calls it that. They call it the Casio Royale. And the story behind that nickname, along with what this watch can actually do for the price, is exactly why it's become a modern legend. Today, we're going to break down why this affordable timepiece is probably one of the best purchases you can make. First up, that name, the Casio Royale. A name like that has to come from one place, right? James Bond. But here's the twist, James Bond never actually wore this watch. The story goes back to 1983 to the movie Octopussy. In that film, Roger Moore as 007 wore a high-tech Casio G757 digital watch. It was a proper gadget, and its screen had this very distinct layout with a prominent graphic display. By the way, if you want to add this watch to your collection, you'll literally find a ton of listings on eBay. Do check that out if you want. Fast forward a few decades and Casio releases this, the AE-1200WH. Watch fans immediately noticed the resemblance, the multi-panel display, the world map, the little analog clock in the corner. It had the same gadget-fueled spirit as Bond's Seiko. Because the original Seiko is now rare and expensive, this Casio became the spiritual successor. It was the affordable way to get that cool 80s spy vibe on your wrist. And that's the first piece of the puzzle. This watch has a story. It has history. But a cool story doesn't matter if the watch itself is junk. And this is where the AE-1200WH starts to get really impressive. Let's talk build quality. The case is resin, yes. It's lightweight, but it doesn't feel cheap or fragile. This specific version is the bronze tone model, which I think gives it this fantastic, warm, vintage look right out of the box. The backplate is solid stainless steel, and engraved on it are the key specs. It says water-resistant 10 bar, which is the same as 100 meters. That means you can genuinely take this swimming without a worry. Now, the standard watch comes on a pretty basic strap, but the first thing most owners do is what I've done here. I've put it on this reddish-brown leather strap, and for me, this completely transforms the watch. It elevates it, taking it from a simple digital timepiece to something with real style and character. And then you turn it on, and you realise why this watch is the undisputed king of value. I call this a dashboard on your wrist because of how much information you get at a single glance. You have your main local time, obviously, with the day and date, and that calendar is a full auto calendar, pre-programmed, until the year 2099. But then you have this beautiful little analog clock in the top left. My favourite feature. You can set that to your home time, so no matter where you are in the world, you always know the time back home. Next to it is the world map, which highlights the time zone you're currently viewing. With a press of a button, you can cycle through 31 time zones and 48 cities. It's an incredibly useful feature for anyone who travels or works with people internationally. And here's a charming little quirk. The world time only scrolls in one direction, eastward. It's a limitation that just adds to its character. On top of all that, you get 5 daily alarms, a 24-hour stopwatch, a 24-hour countdown timer, and a nice amber LED light for checking the time in the dark. And get this, it does all of that on a single battery that is rated to last for 10 years. 10! It's an incredible package. So it has the story and it has the features. But there's a third crucial reason for its explosion in popularity. It is the perfect blank canvas. Because it's so affordable, people aren't afraid to get creative and make it their own. The modding community for this watch is huge. We already talked about changing the strap, which is the easiest mod, but people do so much more. A really popular one is called debadging. It involves carefully removing the world time and illuminator text from the case, which gives it a much cleaner, more minimalist look. Others add coloured gel filters behind the screen to change the colour of the displays. With this bronze case, a deep green on the world map or a warm orange on the main display would look amazing. And for the really dedicated, you can even buy custom-milled solid stainless steel cases and transplant the watch's internal module. That's module 3299 for the spec nerds out there, into a proper metal body. This watch is a project, a conversation starter, and a hobby all in one. So let's answer the question. Why is everyone buying this $30 Casio again? It's because you're not just buying a watch. You're buying a piece of pop culture history with a connection to one of the most iconic characters of all time. You're buying an unbelievably capable tool with more practical, real-world features than most watches that cost 10 times as much. Its 10-year battery and 100-meter water resistance aren't just specs on a page. They're a promise of reliability. And finally, you're buying a ticket into a community of creative enthusiasts. You're buying a blank canvas that you can customize and truly make your own. It's the rare product that punches so far above its weight class that it becomes a legend in its own right. It's proof that you don't need to spend a lot of money to have something with incredible function, character, and style. So what do you think? Let me know if you have one of these in the comments, how you've styled or modded yours. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it and consider subscribing to this channel for more watch videos.